Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is LaShawn and this is Lush Uncut. So for today's video, I am going to introduce a weekly segment that I am going to have on my channel. What this weekly segment is going to comprise of, it's going to be what I think I'm going to term the weekly weirdo or the weekly cancellation. So I am 110% stealing this from my favorite podcaster, Matt Walsh. He does his daily cancellation where he chooses a person or a group of people or something to cancel for that day. So I'm kind of going to use that same, I don't want to say format, but that same idea and do it weekly. Hopefully I am consistent in posting this video every Friday. So without further ado, I introduce to you this week's weekly cancellation, Miss Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett has made a name for herself in political land by being extra. There is literally no other word that I can use that accurately describes Miss Crockett's personality besides extra. Just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about, here's a video of something I'm pretty sure you probably remember of her going at it with Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's take a look.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about. I
think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen, I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't
Okay, so like I said, extra. And I feel like Crockett acts as if the House of Representatives is basically a high school from 2010 where she's the mean girl. I feel like she lives in this world where she doesn't see her co-workers as other representatives, but as like classmates or people that she has to like go back and forth with. And she's not the only one that does that, but I think she is the one that does it the best. Anyway, Crockett went viral this past week when she went on CNN and criticized what she calls mediocre white men. Let's take a look at that.
I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel away and why you can't make me doubt who I am is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder. This is why they don't want us to have education. This is why they are trying to literally say we won't fund the HBCUs, because they know that if they've already gone after affirmative action and they're saying, you know what, don't allow them to come into, say, these PWIs, as we call them, don't allow them to come into these institutions. We know why they created the HBCUs in the first place. It was because they wouldn't allow us into the white institutions. And so now they're not allowing us in. And now they're saying, you know what, we're also going to defund the HBCUs. You know why? Because they don't want any more Kamala Harrises. They don't want any more Jasmine Crockett's. But I got news for them. I don't care what they do. We will fight to the end to make sure that we get our due. Because again, if you want to talk about the people that shouldn't be in this country, you probably need to look in the mirror, because the last time I checked, the Native Americans who Summer ICE have been rounding up, or the Puerto Ricans who are absolutely Americans, listen, the only people that came and colonized this place are your ancestors, Trump.
Obviously, I have a lot to say about this, so I have laid out my points in a nice little Google Doc that I made earlier today, and I'm going to go through every single last one of them slowly because I want my messaging to be as clear and as concise as possible. So point number one, this messaging does not and will never serve African Americans or Americans in general. There is literally no one in this country that benefits from this divisive language. Literally no one. And a good thing about this is that more and more people are getting sick of it. That's exactly why Kamala Harris was not elected into the office as president, because people are tired of the divisive language. At the end of the day, we are all Americans, and putting us in these boxes according to our skin color and according to our gender is frustrating. It is not progressive. It is some of the most regressive approaches to dealing with, our societal problems. So that's one thing. It literally serves no one. On top of that, I wish people like Miss Crockett would put the same amount of energy towards addressing the woes of the Black community. Jasmine Crockett would sit there on CNN and talk about white men until there's no longer any oxygen left in her body. She will have no problem doing it, and a crooked, messed up network like CNN is going to allow her to do it over and over and over again. However, when it comes to addressing the problems that are facing African Americans and the Black community in this country, Jasmine Crockett will always and forever remain silent. She has no problem going on and on and on and on and on and on and on about racism and mediocre white men. But again, when it comes to taking the time out to look into Black America and the real actual problems facing that community, people like her will forever and always be silent, because at the end of the day, she actually does not care about Black people. She likes to use the historical plight of Black America in this country for her own personal and political gain. Number 3. She does not need to work 10 times as hard. She just needs to work as hard as everyone else, okay? She mentioned Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, I think her name was. I looked into Lauren Boebert's story on Wikipedia, and I'm not going to go through it, but she did not exactly have it easy, okay? No one in this country, I shouldn't say no one, but a majority of the people in this country that are very successful started off with very, very hard past and upbringings. The biggest and I think best example of that is our vice president, J.D. Vance. If you know about his story, he did not exactly have it easy, and he definitely had to work hard. So this idea that Black people that are successful in this country have to work 10 times as hard is literally just leftist progressive language. Everyone that wants to be successful in this country has to work hard, no matter their skin color, at the end of the day. Okay? And it's crazy because she's like, oh, I am so much better than Marjorie Taylor Greene. I am so much better than all of these people. So why exactly are you then begging for special privileges via things like affirmative actions and via DEI initiatives and programs? Why are you asking for these special exceptions if you are, the best thing since sliced bread? Oh my God. Sliced bread. Wow. And you are overly competent and much more competent than these mediocre white people. My last and final point. It was mediocre white men that founded this country. It was mediocre white men that fought and died for this country over and over again. There was one war in particular where hundreds of thousands of mediocre white men fought and died so that your ancestors could be free. It was mediocre white men that built a government and infrastructure that's paying your bills. And I am sure that at least one of those mediocre white men voted for you and your ungrateful behind to be able to sit on national television and criticize them for your own personal and political gain. All in all, politicians the likes of Jasmine Crockett are a dying breed. I think Trump's re-election and Kamala Harris's defeat says just as much, because at the end of the day, if most Americans resonated with this type of language, then Kamala Harris would be in the White House, and she is not. So people like Jasmine Crockett can either change their messaging to be more reflective of how America is feeling right now in terms of the divisive language that she refuses to stop using, or she can continue and eventually fade away, kind of sort of like her former boss, Joe Biden. Unfortunately for Jasmine Crockett, I really don't think she has anything else to offer to her constituents and the general American public. So hopefully, like Joe Biden, like Cori Bush, she is going to be a thing of the past politically sooner than later. Thank you for taking the time out to check out my channel. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, throw something in the comment section, do all the things that you're supposed to do, hit that notification bell so that when I upload again, you will be notified. Thank you for your time and your attention. Remember to be blessed and be a blessing.